We all feel stuck at a certain point in our life, right? We all feel stuck. Who feels stagnant sometimes, from time to time, or, just like you're not making progress? I know that we all have those feelings. So we're going to change that starting tonight. By the end of this seminar, you will no longer feel stagnant. You will no longer feel stuck, and you will have growth and progress in your life, which is one of the 6 human needs. And we're going to start by looking at the law of familiarity. And that is basically the fact that fundamentals, they have to be practiced daily if you want to make growth and progress and you want to see massive change in your life. And the best coaches in the world, so look at like athletic coaches, the major coaches in the world. What do they do when they get a new basketball player? Fundamentals. Okay, did anybody see the new Adam Sandler movie where it's called Hustle? And I'm not really big into sports movies, but Adam Sandler plays a pro basketball scout or a college scout. I don't know which one it was. He went to Europe and he scouted some kid who was like in his 20s. The best street basketball player he had ever seen, brought him back to the States to get him a contract and a deal, but the kid got worked on the court because he was great at street ball, but the fundamentals were lacking. So most of the movie was spent him doing fundamentals, drill after drill after drill, and basics after basics after basics. And yes, if you've done this before with me, it's time to do it again. And the reason that we do the basics and we stick to the fundamentals, it's because it's the pyramid base. It's the foundation of that skyscraper for everything else you do. Once you have fundamentals, you can build the rest of your skill set on top of that, and it's going to be something that lasts the rest of your life. I have used this so many times when things have kind of gotten stagnant or gone awry, or life throws a curveball at me. I know that's happened to every single person that's on this Zoom call right now. Repetition is the mother of skill. And if I say things twice, for those of you that have not been on my seminars before, if I say something twice, it's very important and you should probably make a note of it. Repetition is the mother of skill. If you want to master something, if you want to master anything, you have to do it over and over again. And you need to break through the bonds of your past, and you need to look at the world in a brand new way. You need to get excited about the daily things that create a foundation for building the life that you have always wanted. So what are we going to do? We're going to do goal setting tonight. And I know some of you are like, oh God, Gabbi, goal setting again. The master has failed more times than the student has tried. I have done goal setting so many times. And not to bring failure into this, but every time we get to a certain point in our life, I promise you there's going to be hurdles, there's going to be speed bumps. And it's getting past those speed bumps and starting fresh with new goals, realigning yourself to get to that ultimate goal is what's going to get you there. So what I want you to do is I want you to realize that you're about to create a real future that's going to make a real difference for you. And right now, as you do this, you're not just writing down words on a page. And even though you don't know how you're going to get from point A to point B yet, we're going to focus not on the how, but on the why. See, if you want something that you have desired for a long time, you see something that you really want, if your reasons are strong enough, you will always find a way to obtain it. Always. It's about the why. It's not about the how. It's about the reason. And for those of you that have done goal setting with me, one of the first things we did on the coaching call, your initial consultation with me, where I sat down with you, we did the half-hour Zoom. What did I do with most of you? We searched for your why. And if I didn't get to it in our initial Zoom, I sent you a video showing you how to find your why. It's because the reason is so powerful. I want to tell you just a really quick anecdotal story that'll reinforce all of this. When I was doing my coaching, my life coaching with Body Spartan, so that's my fitness company I started in 2012 when we brought the keto diet to the internet. And in 2016 and 17, when I was this big, gigantic 280-pound bodybuilder, I did life coaching. And my fee was very expensive, and so I had people that were very dedicated to what I was doing. One of my guys, Albert, he made an amazing transformation with his body. I mean, talking absolutely amazing because he set his goals, but other things that he was working on in his life. He had a passion. He was diabetic, and he wanted to create a protein bar for diabetics. And so what did he do? We set goals, and we did the same thing we're going to do tonight with everybody here, and he did it. And then he sent me samples I couldn't believe how incredible these bars tasted. And then he sent me the final package samples of these bars, which were amazing. But what blew me away is he did what he set out to do. And he met all the nutritional requirements. They tasted phenomenal. They were the perfect diabetic protein bar. And the guy started his own business and it took off like a rocket because he didn't worry about the how. He knew his reason. And it was a strong, compelling reason. So that's one of my stories. Now, when I started Body Spartan, this is going to really blow your mind. I don't tell this story very often because I talk numbers, but this is going to be very important. When I started Body Spartan, I did this. I set my goals. I got strong enough. Whys. My reasons were strong enough, and I set the pressure to get it done. I set deadlines to get it done. So I had pressure to get it done. And I made the goals so real in my mind, which is what we're going to do. We're going to make these goals so real in your mind that your brain believes it's already happened. And then things start to click. And whether it's voodoo or hoodoo or universal divinity or some sort of string theory that connects us all, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you from the probably 500 people that I've coached over my life directly, and then all of the seminars that I've done live, all of the Zoom seminars I've done and watched people progress, something clicks when you do this. When you really see it and you feel it and you hold on to that vision and the brain believes that you're going to get there, something clicks universally. Now, when I wrote the first Body Spartan program, before it was an app, before it was this monstrous, awesome, digitalized program that isn't a little app, it was an ebook. I did it right after my brother committed suicide in 2012 because I never wanted to miss a chance to help somebody. I didn't know how to help people except through fitness. And I thought, you know what, if I put all my knowledge in an ebook, I might be able to change somebody's life. And that's what I did. And then I did these exercises, this strategy I'm going to give you tonight. And I did all the work. I did all the fundamentals. I put in all the hours. I worked 12 to 18-hour days. It took a lot of time to do this. And I had my daily discipline. Y'all remember 2 weeks ago when I did my last seminar, we talked about the daily discipline, standing guard at the door of your mind, controlling the input, doing a fitness program, changing your physical state daily changes your emotional state. I visualized my goals being met, but I was still borrowing money from my parents. I was retired from WWE. I had nothing to show for it. Literally, I spent all my savings moving cross country, furnishing my house that I was renting at the time, which wasn't even a nice house, getting ready for Mia to be born, and I was broke. I started a business with Priscilla, my wife's brother, and I sucked at it. It was terrible. But every spare moment, because I had set my goals, I knew what I was working towards, and I saw the finish line. I believed it, I saw it, I could smell it, I could taste it, I could feel it. I knew it was gonna happen. And here's what I set as my financial goal. And I don't share this very often, like I said. This is very private stuff, but y'all are my clients, and so I feel like I need to be very transparent with you. I set a goal that I want to make $1 million that year. I had to literally return stuff from my garage to Lowe's to get a Christmas tree. That's how poor we were at that time. And I'm like, I'm gonna make $1 million this year. So I did the work. I did the search engine optimization. I did all the marketing. I did the graphics. I taught myself how to video edit. The first Body Spartan video was done on an iPhone 3, okay? That's how determined I was just to get it out there. So I have this little buzzer from PayPal, and it made like a cash register sound every time I sold an ebook. And I was selling them for like $20, I think. And I'd probably sell 3 a week. So one night, Priscilla and I are making dinner. We're in the kitchen downstairs. I remember this very, very vividly. And I hear the little cha-ching go off. I'm like, oh, that was interesting. And I kind of remembered, I'm like, oh yeah, I had been tinkering with Facebook ads in 2016 when they first came out. And I tinkered and I tinkered and I never gave up. I hit a lot of speed bumps, but I kept changing what I was doing. Because if we do the same thing over and over again, what is that? It's the definition of insanity if you're expecting a different result. So I was changing it. And I go, oh, hey, P, guess what? We just sold a book. She's like, oh, that's great. $20. I think it's cool. Well, we can go to Starbucks. So we're making dinner and then I hear cha-ching. And I go, oh, look, we sold 2. That's weird. Well, cool. 2 tonight. And then about 3 minutes later, ching. Well, we sold 3. And then ding. Ding, 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 ding. It happened so fast. I thought my phone was malfunctioning. I had to turn my phone off and reboot it. only to see hundreds of sales that had just happened because I never gave up and I held on to that vision. I was blown away at what was happening. So from May to December of 2016, I went from borrowing money from my parents, selling a $20 ebook, to generating $1.3 million in revenue for Body Spartan my first year in business, because I did what I'm going to show you guys tonight. If that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what else will. And you will apply this to your fitness program, you will apply this to your financial areas of your life, and you're going to apply it to other things. So think for a moment. How many of you have something that was just a vision? Whether it's a skill, a talent, a belief, relationships, belongings. It started as just a vision, just like Body Spartan was just a vision for me. You're in that same moment of creation right now. This is that moment. So we're going to work on 3 areas. Are you ready? We're going to talk about personal development goals. So these are emotional, these are mental, spirituality, physical body goals. So like your nutritional program, your fitness program you're doing with me, that's going to go under your personal goals. Who you're becoming, who you're committed to becoming. These are going to determine your lifelong happiness. And then we're going to do what I call fun goals. Okay? I know this sounds kind of weird, but they're fun goals. It's like it's things you want to have fun with, some things you want to do, some things you want to have. And then we're going to talk about financial goals. So financial, economic goals, however you want to word it, whatever's easiest for you. And a lot of people will go, okay, economics don't matter. Financial goals don't really matter. But here's what I've noticed. The same people that say that are the same people that are pulling their hair out on a daily and weekly basis because they are stressed out over their own finances. They're always feeling the stress of not having enough. So we're going to set goals and we're going to mitigate that and we're going to put that to rest. Okay, here we go. Number 1, personal goals. As we start with this, I want you to put yourself in a state of mind where you can obtain anything that you want. Okay, so everybody take a moment, take a deep breath, and focus and get into the state where you're thinking you can obtain anything you want. I want you to imagine, think of it like this. It's Christmas and you're a little kid. You're about to go sit on Santa's lap or you're going to go talk to Santa. Think about how that used to feel. Because a kid, when you go up to Santa Claus as a kid, you get your list in your pocket and you whip it out and it's like a scroll. You're like, and it's like 20 feet long. You're like, I want a Power Wheels, I want Barbies, I want a pool, I want 3 pools, I want a bike, I want a motorcycle, I want everything. And you're just like, yeah, I'm going to get it too. And they're all going to be under the tree. And somehow most of those things end up in a tree or underneath the tree. But as an adult, as the parent's like, you'll be lucky if you get anything. Why? Because that's what's practical. And as adults, we think practically. Somewhere along the line, that imagination stopped. When we started living our quote-unquote adult lives, we started realizing the cost of things and what we consider reality and what we consider is practical. Well, here's my take on practical. Practicality is the slaughter of dreams. It's the death of your imagination. If you were taught what is practical when you were young, that is killing your imagination. You're literally killing your dreams. If you're still subscribing to that, when your dad or your mom or your aunt or your uncle said, that's not realistic. No, we can't afford that. That's not going to happen. That's what's killing your dreams. So we have to remove ourselves from that state. We have to disassociate our brain with the state of being practical. And I want you to instead just go for it. I want you to think about that in that Santa Claus state, that little kid state, and go for it. And here's what we're going to do. As soon as it comes into your mind, I just want you to write it down as fast as you can. I don't want you to put too much effort into going, oh, I shouldn't do that, or maybe I should. Just write it down. Write it down. Who do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What do you want to master? Do you want to learn a language? What do you want your body to look like? What are some things that you want to accomplish in your life? Anything you would like to do or be in the next 1 to 20 years. You have 6 minutes, and I am watching the clock. I'm setting a timer. Everybody, 3, 2, 1, go. 6 minutes and counting. So while you guys are writing this down, again, reminder of what these personal goals are. Emotional, mental, spiritual, your fitness, your physical body. Who are you becoming? Who are you committed to becoming? Just write it down as it comes. Let it flow. Don't think too hard about it. Don't question it. Just let it go. The first thing that comes to your mind. The next 1 to 20 years, what are some personal goals that you have? Do you want to see the Eiffel Tower? Do you want to see the Eiffel Tower and have a romantic kiss at the top? Do you want to enjoy lunch on a sidewalk in Milan, Italy? Do you want to surf in Bali or sit on the beach in Hawaii? Do you want to have body-affirming surgeries? Do you want a wardrobe full of clothes that you look phenomenal in? Do you want to see the Northern Lights? Do you want to become fluent in a language? Do you want to master a language? Do you want to start your own business? These are things that I want you to think on. A couple more minutes here. Just let it go. Just write personal goals in the next 1 to 20 years that you want to accomplish. And as y'all are writing this down, I will let you know I recently did this. I talk about mastering these fundamentals. It's because life will throw curveballs at you. And it's getting back to these fundamentals that is so important. Emotional, mental, spiritual, physical body, who you're becoming, who you're committed to becoming. Personal goals. Just let it go, let it flow. About 2 more minutes. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? This is what's going to provide lasting happiness in your life. Becoming this person. This is a path to fulfillment in your life. The next 1 to 20 years. Anything you want. Don't hold back. Remember, this is your moment with Santa Claus when you have your list that's a mile long and you're asking for it. Ask for anything. Write down anything that you want to accomplish in the next 1 to 20 years. See people writing still. That's fantastic. Fantastic. About 1 more minute. And if you don't finish, that's okay. I know, this isn't exactly what y'all thought it was going to be, is it? I'm really digging deep. This is what I do. I'm the queen of curveballs. All right, get ready to wrap it up here. Okay, so let's, if you want to keep writing, feel free. Don't let me stop anybody from getting their dreams onto a piece of paper or onto your notepad or onto your iPad or whatever you're using. Next step for this, for your personal goals, I want you to go through each of the goals and I want you to put a timeline on it. Dreams, think about this. Goals are just dreams with a deadline. So we're taking our dreams and we're manifesting them into reality. We need to put a deadline on it. And that is how we change into goals. So now you've written all this stuff down. What I want you to do is just to the left of wherever you started writing each one of those goals for the next 1 to 20 years, your personal goals, I want you to put a 1 next to the goal if you want to accomplish it, if you're compelled to accomplish it, if you get excited about accomplishing it in 1 year, within this next year. So by September 21st, 2023, put a 1 next to anything that you want to accomplish within 1 year. And then go through and I want you to put a 3 next to anything you want to accomplish in the next 3 years. And then a 5 for 5 years, a 10 for 10 years, and a 20 for 20 years. So take about 60 seconds to 2 minutes. Go ahead and you can start doing that right now. So a 1 for 1 year or less, a 3 within the 3-year range, 5 for 5, 10 for 10 years, and 20 for 20 years. We're going to break this into chunks. progress. This is all about progress in your life. This is how we make massive, massive change in our life tonight. Growth and progress. If anybody remembers while you're writing down and you're kind of deciding where your numbers go, I said something on the last seminar. Progress equals happiness, and decisions equal destiny. Right now, you are going to be experiencing growth and progress, and you are making decisions that are changing your destiny. All right. So step 3, I want you to go to the list that you just made with your goals for the next 1 to 20 years. And I want you to look at the top 3 that would really, really make a difference in your life. The top 3 that you are so excited about for the next year. So look at the 1 year. Look at the ones that you put a 1 next to. Pick the top 3 that you are really compelled to complete in this 1 year. What gets you excited? If you look at that and go, yes, I'm so excited to do that within the next year, I want you to pull that out. And on a separate piece of paper or on the next page or on a new notepad, what I want you to do is I want you to write those goals one more time. But before you write them down, maybe separate them, leave a little space, because underneath it, what you're going to do is you're going to write a paragraph on why you are 100% committed to achieving this goal right now within this 1 year. You got a couple minutes. I'm going to set a timer. Go. 3 goals that were marked with a 1. Go through, pull out the 3 that you are most excited about to see those accomplished within the year. New piece of paper. Write a paragraph. Why are you 100% committed to achieving these goals within the year? That reason is more important than anything. It's got to be strong. It's got to be powerful. What's compelling you to get that accomplished within that year? What's driving you? Why do you want it so bad? Tell me in that paragraph why you are absolutely determined to meet those goals within a year, to accomplish those, to cross the finish line. 3 of your personal goals that you want to see accomplished. We talked about the why. The why is the most important factor in anything that you do. And I said this in every one of our initial consultations I did in our first coaching Zoom. I'm going to say it again. It's a driving force behind everything that you do. When you search for your why with me, there's a reason I wanted it to be strong. It's because people move mountains when they have a why. It's no longer just one of those, I should get this done. It's, I'm going to make this happen. I want this more than I want to breathe. What are your compelling reasons? About another minute. Think compelling. This is stuff that you're going to be looking at. And I can tell you right now that on my computer, I have my goals for the year. They are here. They sit on a Word document. I've got 2 monitors right in front of me. And every day when I sit down and I start doing everything for my business, so with every one of you before I do my check-ins with you guys, I look at my goals every day and I go, okay, how do I make this happen? How do I make this happen? I'm going to do that. I see it. I sit. I visualize. I go over the reasons why I'm doing it. Because you can get lost in that mix. Why are you doing it? Why do you want to make it happen so bad? Why are you committed? Why are you so compelled? Just kind of check in on everybody here. Okay. Keep writing if you need to. I'm going to move on to the next section here. So I want you to take a look at those goals that you wrote down. And I want you to remember something. Reasons come first. Answers come second. That's the why. So don't worry about the how, it's the why. Reasons come first, answers come second. I said that twice. Look at those reasons that you wrote down. Are those answers really strong enough to really get you to follow through and accomplish those goals. If they are not strong enough, you need to do one of two things. You need to pick another goal or get better reasons. Those are one of the two things you need to do. So look at that, make that determination. If they are strong enough, then you have a strong goal that you absolutely will achieve. Okay, let's move on to the fun goals. So these are just things that you want to have. And yes, they are materialistic. They can be anything that you want. Things that you want to have. Is it a car? Is it a Gulfstream G6? Like, what is it? Do you want a house with 6 bedrooms and, bidets in it for fun? Do you want like a water feature in your pool? Like, these are things that are very important. And why is it that people hesitate on this? It's okay to have abundance in all other areas of your life, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, relationship abundance. But when it comes to things like fun goals and finances and money, why is it that it gets cut off right there? What were we told when we were kids? Don't be what? Don't be selfish. Or money is the root of all evil. We have been hardwired since childhood with these sayings that when we start to see abundance financially, it's bad. We to step away from it. Nope, we're not going to do that. Nope, you're a selfish little kid. You're a selfish little brat. How dare you want that? You should not have that. Nope, these other kids don't have it. These starving kids, over on the other side of the world, all this stuff we were told. So we get these mental blocks when it comes to money and comes to our fun things that we've always wanted. If we have it, we're what? We're selfish. So money is no different than anything else in your life, and you absolutely deserve an abundance of love, of joy, of happiness, and of money. So you absolutely deserve to create some fun goals. So let's do this. We're going to do this very quickly. I want you to go nuts. I want you to think no limits financially. I want you to let your imagination run completely wild. This is that Santa Claus moment, more than before with the personal goals. You could have anything that you want, anything you want to have, anything you want to do, anything you want to create in your life. Now is your moment. 2.5 minutes, write as fast as you can. Go. Anything, your fun goals. Do you want a Mercedes SL? Do you want a Lamborghini Aventador? Do you want, what is it that you want? Just let it go. No limits, just let it out. Write down whatever comes to your mind. What are your fun goals? No limits. You're there with Santa Claus. You're like, hey, buddy, I want this. I want this. I want this. You want to be Scrooge McDuck and you want to have all your money and coins in a gigantic building and jump into it and hope you don't break your neck when you jump in. I don't know. You want to swim and stuff. You want a pool full of Jell-O. Go for it, These are your fun goals. What do you want? Let it out. Just let it rip. A whole list of these things. Let's go. What do you want? This is your moment. Let that creativity run absolutely wild. This is your moment. Be a kid for once. Forget practicality. This is your imagination. These are your dreams. This is everything that you've ever wanted, but don't have right now. You're not being selfish. You're visionarying. You're imagineering, as Disney called it. You're creating right now. That moment of creation is happening. Okay, so we're going to do pretty much the same thing we did with your personal development goals. We're going to go through it, same thing. If you're still writing, keep writing, but think of it this way. 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 years. Put a number 1, a number 3, a number 5, a number 10, and a number 20 next to each one of those goals. On the left side, your fun goals. 2 minutes. I don't think it's going to take 2 minutes. It's probably going to take 60 seconds for you guys to do this. So let's give it 60 seconds. Let's give it a minute. Just go through them like this. If I could do this, I want this in a year. Let's do it. Here we go. Just write it down. 1 for 1 year, 3 for 3 years, 5 for 5 years, 10 for 10 years, and 20 for 20 years. And y'all know what's coming next. This is awesome. This is how I got into motorcycle racing, actually. Didn't think I could afford 2 super bikes, but I made it happen. All within a time frame. That's how I got my Range Rover. That's how I bought my house. That's how I got my facial surgery. That's how I paid for a lot of things in my life. Tick tock, tick tock. About 10 more seconds here. All right. So here's what we got. We now have two sets of goals. We have our personal goals, our personally oriented goals, our mental, our emotional, our spiritual, our physical goals. And we have 3 that you are absolutely committed to achieving in the next year. And you have very, very strong, compelling reasons to achieve those. And you have 1 set of thing goals. So we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to pull out the 3 that you want to accomplish in the 1 year. Do the same thing. New page, new paragraph. Write a paragraph on each one. Tell me why you are absolutely committed to achieving those goals in the next year. Write it down. Go. Why are you compelled to make this happen? It's because you've always wanted it since childhood. Is it a status symbol for you? What is the reason? Do you want to show your children that when you set out to accomplish something that you get it done? Something that's incredible, something that seemed like it was impossible? Are you proving to yourself that you can do this for some reason? Does it relate back to your childhood? Why are you absolutely committed to achieving this? 3 within a year. 3 fun goals within 1 year. It's the why, not the how. It's the why. Why are you absolutely willing to do whatever it takes? Why do you want this more than you want to breathe? Write a paragraph. Make these really strong. Remember, if you look back on it and you don't get excited about it, and you look at the reason, you're like, I think that's good enough. You need to get a better reason, or you need to pick something else. But if it all clicks, if that reason is strong and you look at that and you get excited, you're like, oh, F yes, this is happening and here's my reason. This is my why, this is my driving force. This is gonna happen. I see this happening. Then you have the right fun goal, you have the right why, you have the right compelling reason. All signs, all lights are green. All right. I'm telling you to write a paragraph, but I'm giving you like 120 seconds to do. Like, Gabbi, come on. Let it flow. Just let it flow. 45 more seconds. And then we'll move on to the next one. I'm so excited for you guys to get through this and to really see the progress. This is literally life-changing. Of the 6 human needs, growth and progress is part of every human's top needs. No matter what you think it might be, everybody needs growth and progress in their life. When you stay stagnant, that's when you start to rot from the inside out. And nobody in this seminar is going to be rotting. We are all going to be growing and we're going to be flourishing. In everything in life, things either die or they grow. They grow or they die. Everyone here is growing. There is no in between. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to stay here. No, you're either growing or you're dying. And what you're doing right now is growth. All right, so like I said, we now have 2 sets of goals. We got our personally oriented goals. We've got our fun goals, our thing goals, whatever you want to call it. Next, we're going to look at our financial goals or the economic goals. Same thing. Let your mind run wild. I want you to think a little bit differently though. I want you to think about certain amounts of money you like to earn each month. What are your annual financial goals, investment goals, ideas of how much you want to contribute or give every year? And this, for some people, this may be the absolute most difficult one, because when we think about this, most people think, well, what do I have available right now in my checking? And do I even have a savings? I'm not sure. That's okay. We're going to go way beyond this. Again, let it flow. Let your imagination run wild. If you could do if you could pick any amount of money that you want to earn from the next 1 to 20 years, that's what we're doing all over again. This is the third iteration, the final iteration of this. The next 1 to 20 years. Go. I'm setting a timer. I'm literally doing 2 minutes on this one. 2 minutes. Just let it go. Write it as fast as you can. What kind of money? What amounts of money do you want to learn? What amounts of money do you want to earn each month? Or yearly, annually? What do you want to invest in? What do you want to give away? Do you want to help people? Do you want to contribute to a charity? Is there a cause that you want to donate money to? You've always wanted to donate money to, but you just had this block. You're like, I don't think I'll ever be able to do it. Right now, write it down. Write it down. Next 1 to 20 years. And if you're in the latter portion of your life, that's fine. There's lots of time left to get stuff done. I'm going to touch on that in a little bit. So next 1 to 20 years. 60 seconds. Just let it flow. Any type of financial or economic goal you could possibly think of. Just let it go. 1 to 20 years. Again, thinking, yeah, Santa's here. Or you're a fifth grader. You're my daughter's age. You're like, I want to make $1 million. I want to make $1 billion. I want to be the next Elon Musk. Okay, write it down. There's no shame in that. We are dreaming. We are visionarying. There's no shame in that. Everything starts as a seed. Everything starts as a thought. You're no different than anyone else that accomplished incredible financial things. It all started with thought. Somebody wrote something down or had an idea. Started as a seed, and then it got watered, and it grew, and it was taken care of every single day. And it grew into this gigantic tree. That is how these things start. Okay, resetting my timer here. So, same thing. Pull out those things you want to accomplish in the next year. So 1 year, pull out those things you want to accomplish. Write a 1, a 3, a 5, a 10, and a 20 next to it. Go, 60 seconds. 1, 3, 5, 10, 20. What do you want to accomplish in the next year for these economic and financial goals? Ooh, I just totally scratched my microphone. What do you want to accomplish in the next year for these financial goals? What do you want to accomplish the next 3 years that you're absolutely committed to accomplishing the next 3 years? And then 5 years, then 10 years, and 20 years. Just go through, look at them, and go, I want this, I want that, I want that. Put a little thought into the 1 year because you know what's coming next. You know exactly what I'm going to have you do. And if you don't, we got to talk about repetition and foresight of patterns. That's why I love every one of you here, because I see you smiling with me. Okay, there we go. So pull out the number ones. Pick 3 from the things you are absolutely 100% compelled to accomplish and achieve in the next year. Paragraph on each one, 2 minutes, go. Why are you so determined to accomplish these financial goals? Is it because you've had this dream for a long time and you let it go? It's like the tree analogy or a plant that didn't get watered. You started it a long time ago, but then you forgot to water it. Or the water ran dry. Do you want to show your parents that you accomplished something? Do you want to show your kids? Do you want to set yourself free from your corporate job? Do you have such an innate passion to give back and change the world that you want to raise money and contribute? Fund incredible things for people that are less fortunate than you. What are you passionate about? Why do you want to make this money? Why do you want these economic and financial goals? What is it that's driving you? Remember, the why is more important than the how. Always the why. Always the why. What is it? A little bit longer. Y'all are speed writing over there, I can see you. As fast as you can. This is it. For those of you that are just speed writing, that's exactly what I want you to do. You can go back and reorganize this stuff later. Just let it go. Let it flow. First things that come to your mind. Why are you 100% committed to this? Why are you absolutely 100% committed to accomplishing these goals? What do you want to see in the next year? Why do you want to see it? What's different than the time before? Why do you feel it in your soul that it has to happen? Okay, time. All right, so right now you have 3 very specific 1-year personal goals. You have 3 fun goals for the next year, fun things that you're very excited about, that you're extremely ecstatic about, or you should be. And then you have a list of financial goals. And you have 3 for this year that you're inspired about and are committed to achieving within that year. And then you have a list of all these goals for the next 20 years. Take a minute, step back, and look at what you've written down. You have your goals for the next 20 years in chunks. It's no longer this 1,000-mile journey. It's chunked out for you. And you have 9 goals right in front of you on this 1 year. 9 goals that you are committed to and have unshakable reasons to accomplish in the next 365 days. I want to ask you all a question. How would you feel if all 9 of those goals were absolutely mastered and obtained in the next year? All 9 of those, how would you feel? If you had all those things in your life, if you accomplished every one of those goals, you set out to complete them, you set out to accomplish them, and you crossed that finish line, how would you feel? Sit in that moment right now. Be there. Remember, when the brain believes it's already happened, when you're in that moment, if you want to close your eyes and visualize that you've crossed that finish line. Excuse me. It's September 21st, 2023. You have literally knocked the ball out of the park. You are crossing the finish line on every one of those 9 goals. If you're not feeling incredible right now, you need to go back and find better goals, because you should feel ecstatic. It should be a feeling of accomplishment, of pride, of self-worth, of happiness, of joy. That's what you're feeling right now. I can tell you, I can see it in your souls. So now, what do? We've got all this written out. We need to come up with a plan of action, and that's going to take more time than we have tonight on this seminar, but I'm going to give you the cliff notes, so take some notes really quick. And this is how you take all this and you put it into action. We're going to start with the 1-year goal. And we're going to work backwards. And I've done this with some of you, not all of you. I had a chance to do it with some of you, but not all of you. So if you've done this before with me, do it with what you wrote down. And remember, fundamentals, repetition over and over again, honing in your skills. That is what this is all about. So start at the 1-year mark and write a list of things that you need to achieve to have made that goal complete. You don't have to get super specific, but it should be quantifiable. So a list of things that you need to achieve, to have, or to do to make that goal complete. Start a little broader. You know, if you are looking, I did this with a friend of mine recently, and here's a perfect example. She wanted, she had financial goals, but one of her goals was to be an influencer on social media. And she said, I want to have 100,000 followers on TikTok by the end of next year. I'm like, okay, write that down. So that's what she did. She wrote down 100,000 followers on TikTok by the end of the year. I know it sounds silly. I mean, not all of us are the TikTok age. Or we don't even care. I do because it's my brand and that's what I do and that's how I get my message out. But just as an example. So, or if you had a financial goal that you were trying to meet, or that you are compelled to meet, that you are absolutely 100% certain that you are going to meet, write that financial goal. I need to have X amount saved up to do this. Boom, end of that year. Make it quantifiable and make it something you can measure. And then we're going to work backwards. So we're going to go to the 6-month mark. So from 1 year to 6 month backwards, we're going to be a little more specific on those things that you need to have achieved by that time. So for my friend who was looking at the TikTok thing, she wanted 100,000 followers. I said, do you want to cut it in half and say your halfway mark is 50,000? She's like, yeah, that's perfect. I'm like, okay, is that reasonable? Yeah, okay, let's do it. So we wrote that down. Same with financial goals. What do you have to do? Get specific. And every time we take the clock backwards a little more and we get closer to today, you get a little more specific. So we're going to do 6 months. We're going to do 3 months. We're going to do 1 month. And then once we get that 1 month down, we're getting very specific at that point. We're going to go 2 weeks out from today, and we're going to go 1 week out from today. So this 1 week, the next 7 days are the most critical. What are you going to do in the next 7 days that's going to catapult you towards every one of those benchmarks that we just set. So work backwards from a year. 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, 1 month, 2 week, 1 week. And be extremely detailed for the first week. Because taking action, remember this from the last seminar, taking action on a plan is the most important step to creating momentum. Remember I talked about momentum. Once you start it, you need to keep it going. It's the snowball that you have just created. In your hands, whatever you're holding, whatever you're writing, that is your snowball. That is your momentum. You're literally about to roll that thing down the hill. And you need to push it a little bit to get it going so it grows and grows and grows. This is the beginning of your snowball. So be detailed with your tasks. And if I create a plan, if I create a goal-setting plan, I always solidify it with an action the very same day. I do not let the sun go down on a big goal-setting endeavor like this. So every time I've done this, this is now the 4th time I've done it in my life. I literally did it a week ago, and that's what spurred this seminar. And that's why I wanted to share this with you, because it's so powerful. What is the one thing you are doing tonight to start the ball rolling? What is the one thing you are doing to take action tonight on these goals? Taking action. It's the most important thing that we did. If you want change in your life, you have to take massive action. Because why? Ideas are what? You remember this from the last seminar? Ideas are shit. Ideas are shit. We can talk about it all day long. We can write all these goal-setting plans out 1,000 times. But taking massive action is how change actually begins. That is how the snowball starts rolling. So if you're starting, let's take, for example, if you are on my coaching program, and I have some people that haven't really started yet. They were dedicated to start. We had our coaching call. If you haven't started, or maybe you started working out, you haven't started the nutrition plan, what are you going to do? You're going to go look at your nutrition plan. You're going to look at your macros and determine what meal to make right now before bed. Or go start your meal prep. Don't know how? Go watch the video I made on meal prep. What about cardio? Over here, it's not even 8 o'clock at night yet. I've done cardio at midnight because I was so damn determined to get it done. I've done cardio twice a day. Go start a workout. What are you doing the rest of the night? Put your workout times or your cardio times in your Google Calendar. Remember I had you guys kind of do that last seminar too? I was like, take out your Google Calendar. If you need something to do to work towards one of these goals, do it. Put it in there, solidify it, make it a thing, put it on repeat so it gets done every week. Set repeating calendar reminders. This is what I do all the time. Or if you're doing something financial and you need software, go get a CRM. Put all your tasks in a CRM. I use a company called Teamwork. And it's free. They got a free trial. I love it. It's how I organize my life. They don't sponsor me. This is just stuff I'm giving you guys. And if you're on the call and you're not one of my clients right now, because I did open up some spots for some people that were not clients. If you're not on the call and you want to do coaching, go sign up right now. Take action. Take massive action to change your life. Don't let the sun go down tonight. The sun's down. Don't let midnight come and let your carriage turn back into a pumpkin without taking action. Other examples, if you want a car, go make an appointment right now. Go online, go to your local dealership, make an appointment to go sit and daydream in a car. You don't got to go buy it. Just go sit in it so you know what it is that you're working towards. Smell the leather or whatever your seats are going to be made out of. Maybe it's not leather, but that new car smell. Get a feel for it so that when you leave there, you have that vision in your brain. Or maybe you want to travel somewhere. Go look at the hotel that you want to stay. You want to go to Paris? Remember we talked about the Eiffel Tower as you guys were writing down your goals? Go look for hotels. Figure out where you want to stay, or maybe go look at the cruise line. Pick the ship that you want to go on if you're going on a cruise. Solidify that. Take action tonight. Okay, the very last thing, and then I'm letting everybody go. What's the price if you don't achieve these goals? What is the price? And I've got this thing that I call the front porch test, okay? And this is how we test this. So looking down the road, you're 80, 90 years old, and you're sitting in your favorite chair on the front porch. Maybe it's a rocking chair, maybe it's a little swing, whatever it is. But you're in the last era of your life, and you're looking back on these goals that you set. How do you feel about them? My kid, Mia, she just made a list of places she wants to visit. She wants to go to Paris. She wants to go to Japan. She wants to go see her friends in California. She wants to go to London. I'm 80, 90 years old, and I'm sitting on my front porch drinking lemonade right here in Texas, maybe. I don't know. How would I feel about myself if I didn't make that happen for her? If I had all these goals and I didn't accomplish it? How would I feel if I didn't finish my transition? If I was at the halfway point, I never finished. How would I feel at the end of my life? Now, conversely, what if I did cross that finish line? What if I did meet every one of those goals? I would look back and I would think, I did it. I did it. It was worth it. I would have the satisfaction of knowing I accomplished these things for myself. I would know it was an incredible life that I lived. I would know I changed people's life. I did something for the better. How much more joy would it bring to your life if you accomplished all of these things? So now you see the benefit of the goal, but you also see that there is pain associated with it if you don't achieve it. And I said it earlier, you're never, ever too old to do this. I'm going to use an example. Most people here know who George Burns is. Comedian, lived to be very, very old. That guy booked himself all the way through his 100th birthday. The dude literally booked himself through his 100th birthday. Why? Because the show has to go on, and he was so determined to do it. So right now, this is your front porch test. Imagine you're there and you've achieved all the goals in your life. How does it feel? If you want to close your eyes, close your eyes. How does it feel? Remember, clarity is power. And today, tonight, this moment can be the beginning of a brand new life for you. And success comes from taking these very first steps. Now go start your program, go start your action plan, or go sign up for my coaching program. Whatever it is you're going to do, go right now and do it. Okay. I have 5 minutes for questions. I will take a couple. If anybody has questions, please unmute your microphone. I'll take 5 minutes. I got to get off at 8 to tuck my daughter in for school tomorrow. But please, please, please ask any questions that you want. I hope this was helpful. Actually, I don't have to hope. I know it was helpful because it changed my life. It's changed it 4 times now. So I know it was helpful. I hear somebody who's talking. I hear participants raising their hands. How do I check this? I should probably know how to do this. Naomi. Let's unmute you. You're free to speak, sweetheart.
Hey,
Hi.
first off, you are stunning.
Oh, thank you.
So, I was gonna ask, how do you know if you've been like overly ambitious? Because we're told to have realistic goals.
So you were told at some point in your life to have realistic goals. Remember that thing I
Right,
said about practical? About
right.
practicality? It is the killer of dreams. So if you're looking at trying to have realistic goals, throw those out the window. It's things, remember, it's not the how you're going to get there. That's practical thinking. That is your old self. Those are those neuro associations that we've had all our life from thinking, oh, I have a block on money. I have a block on this. Or I can't do that because of this, this, this. We've been told that so many times, or we've encountered things along the way. If we think about the why instead of the how, if those reasons are strong enough, if you look at that, those paragraphs that you wrote down, and that reason is strong enough, you'll get that goal. You absolutely will. Don't worry about if it's realistic or not. Put it down and shoot for the stars. That is what I say. And that's what I've done every time. I've gone with my gut. I have written it down. I've gone, I can do this. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I set some lofty effing goals this year, guys and girls. I can't share them with you yet because I don't talk about things until they're done. But I will tell you the things that are on my plate right now I've never done before in my life. And you want to talk about realistic? If the average person looked at my timeline, they were like, no, you ain't doing that, girl. I'm like, watch me. Because my reason is strong enough. That is how you know if
Okay,
it's realistic or not.
thank you.
You're very, very welcome, sweetheart. AC, did you have a question?
No, I was saying thank you so much for this session. It was
Uh,
great, and I appreciate it. I had to kind of run.
oh, yeah, no problem.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Absolutely. Thank you. I really appreciate you being here. Anybody else have a question? Let me see.
I do.
Yes. Hi, Jonathan.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great.
Good. So I feel like my biggest, like the thing that's holding me back, or I mean, I guess it's a mental thing, but kind of not, is like looking at my goals. 90% of them require a lot more financial freedom than I currently have at the moment.
Okay.
So, like, how would you? I mean, because it sounds like you starting out had very similar issues.
Oh, yeah.
How did you go about like I feel like these are not possible. Which I mean, I don't want to say that because self-fulfilling
That's
prophecy.
okay. This is you shooting from the heart. Absolutely. And this is a
Yeah,
great
exactly.
question.
I feel like they're not possible unless I first address these financial goals.
Right. So you need a certain amount of finances to make these other things happen, right?
Right.
So the first thing on your list is going to be those finances. So look at your 1 year mark. What finances do you need to have to make all these goals possible? So that would be something you're going to write down. Remember at the end of the seminar when I was just saying we need to create an action plan? This is where that action plan comes into play. This is where you go and go, all right, at the 1 year mark, I need this much money. I need this many, I need this much here, this much there. I need to be investing in this much. How do I make that happen? This is the part where you may not be able to think about it tonight, but if you put down the plan, you get the plan, you go, okay, let's say, I'm just going to throw random numbers out there. Let's say you need 100 grand by the end of the year, separate from everything else that you're doing. You need to put aside 100 grand to do whatever it is that you want to do. And I'm literally just pulling numbers out of the sky. At the 6-month mark, you need 50 grand. At the 3-month mark, you need 25 grand. At the 1 month mark, you need 12.5. And so in the next 2 weeks, you got to come up with 6 grand. How do you come up with 6 grand in 2 weeks? I would spend the next 24 hours thinking about what you can do to possibly get the ideas or generate the income. I would start with guys like Gary Vaynerchuk. If you don't know who he is, go follow him. Do you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is?
I've heard the name before.
Yeah, Gary V, V-E-E on social media. Go follow Gary V. Watch everything that he could, spend your time, your personal development that we talked about in the seminar 2 weeks ago. That net time, no extra time where you plug in your earbuds and you listen to something from somebody else that brings value and strategy to your life. Go listen to Gary V. Go look up people that have been successful. Sit and think, how am I going to make this money? What am I going to do? Because whatever I'm doing right now is not cutting it. I need to go above and beyond. And this is where the mind becomes creative. You look at that and you go, how do I do this? What am I good at? If you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life. I know this isn't specific, but it's specific enough because with everybody else that's on here, with everybody else that is sitting here on this call that's still here for questions, I can tell you right now, I don't have the actual answer for each person. I can't say, Mallory, you need to do this type of business to get there. Or Tony, you need to do this. This is what you do. Or Jonathan, you like to do these kinds of things. Why don't you go do this? This is where your creativity comes in. And you got to look at those reasons Jonathan, and go, why am I so compelled to do this? And when you have that why, you will figure out the how. The how will come. Start setting those goals, but be determined. And then it comes down to the little processes. So in the next 24 hours, you need to decide, or in the next 3 days, you need to decide how you're going to go about trying to get those finances. And then you're going to put that into action. You're going to have a list. This is what I would do. And this is literally what I've done. I sat down and I go, what am I good at? What am I good at? How can I make money? Let me go figure out how I could possibly make money. Okay, let's do it. And then I sat down, I thought of a bunch of ways, said, all right, I'm going with this one. And I'm going to put all my effort into this right now. I'm going to have this as a backup. If there's any time left, I'm going to start the ball rolling on that. This is how my personal coaching business started. I'm like, well, how can I generate some revenue? And how can I do something I'm very, very passionate about? And how can I give back at the same time? And that's how this right here, that's how this started. I'm like, I'm going with this. And then from there, everything spurred. There's so many things that have spurred off of this little personal coaching endeavor that I started that are completely unrelated, that are revenue generating streams. And it all happens when you're in what I call the vortex. So that is the space, the thought process when you are thinking positive every hour of the day. You see your visions, you know what it is, it will come to you. I hope that helped.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? I'm a little over.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, so I was wondering if in the event that something happens that you did not take into account, like a death or something that's very impactful in your life, how do you reassess your goals if you are like very close to that 1 year mark or the 3 year mark and it just wasn't quite there? How do you go back and reassess your goals?
That's really a personal thing. Like you look at that, it's something like a death. If you get a death in the family or something like that and you need a week to recover, you need a month to recover, here's what can happen. I'm going to use that as an example because my brother died in 2012. He shot himself in the head. He got addicted to methamphetamines. He was a great kid, had a wife and 2 kids, and he shot himself in the head because he was so depressed from coming down off methamphetamines. No one expected that. I didn't know that was going to happen. I had no clue. It just one day he was gone. Like we were in an argument over something stupid and the next day he was dead. And one of two things can happen. You can sit and you can allow yourself to spiral downwards into this black hole. Or you can take a moment, whatever time you need to process that, and move on. And this is going to sound cold in a way, but it's because I've experienced death in the family where the only thing that makes it better is time. There's nothing anyone can say, nothing anyone can do. There's nothing that's going to bring that person back. It's happened and you can't change that. And the question that you need to ask yourself is, are you going to let that affect you for the rest of your life? Or are you going to push forward and get back on track with what you need to do? That's the question you need to ask yourself. So whenever life throws a curveball at you, and it's going to do that, I promise you, with all of your goal setting that you had tonight, life is going to throw a curveball at you. There are going to be speed bumps. There are going to be roadblocks. There are going to be holes blown in the pavement in front of you where you're like, holy crap, how am I going to get there now? I was not anticipating that. You grow or you die. Literally. Like I said, everything on this planet grows or it dies. You find a way or you don't. It's those of us that have the strong enough reasons to finish, that will build a bridge across that hole in the pavement if we have to get there. But if you got to take a break along the way and sit down for 10 minutes, catch your breath, that's okay. It's absolutely okay. This is your time. This is your time. But I would, if you're going to take a moment and, have time because of something like a death in the family, reassess those goals. Like, okay, so it was 3 months, or it was 3 years. Now it's going to be 3 years and 2 months because I needed this time. Here we go. Back on track. I will find a way. Any other questions? No? Okay. Y'all, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I'm hoping that this is the value that you all are wanting when you signed up for coaching. I know we're down to only a couple people on the call, so y'all are I can see you. I know every one of you for the most part. Actually, I don't know some of you, but for the most part, most of you are my clients. And this is the value that I want to bring you in addition to changing your life with fitness. This is the way I want to pull you guys with me. I want you to all be successful. So go start on your goals. Do not let this night end without taking some sort of action. I love every one of you. Thank you so much for your time.